Thank you, Stephen. First of all, this salary increment was supposed to be a second phase. There's a phase that was implemented in 2023. But on the 15th of April, we held the wage bill conference at Bomas of Kenya. It was live on television. The president was there, the Council of Governors were there, SRC were there, Treasury were there. Everybody was there. And we agreed that we agreed on 10-point agenda for managing the wage bill, whereby we agreed that currently our wage bill is around 46% of GDP, and against internationally acceptable levels of 35% of GDP. And we agreed on 10 measures that will be taken. The president did receive these recommendations of the wage bill conference, 10 of them, gave a copy to me on behalf of the national government, give a copy to Governor Waiguru on behalf of the Council of Governors. And therefore, I would have expected that now, guided by the April conference and the agreement that we had, we have to implement. We cannot, if you're in a hole, you stop digging. I think that, for me, that's simple. We can forgive what happened last year, but not what happened after April, when we have all come together and agreed that the current wage bill is unsustainable. I have informed today, I have written to Lynn Mengich and the SRC, and I told them I will not implement these recommendations. And recommendations are advisory, just like any other. And I have refused to implement. Unfortunately, I'm the one who pays everybody. I've got a system called integrated payroll payment system, yeah? In that system, which is under my control, I pay the salary from the driver to the president, and take it from me that I will not implement. I will not adjust. I will not add anybody's payroll for the national government. I expect judiciary to do the same, because they have got an independent commission. I expect Parliament, because they have an independent commission, to also do the same. But everybody in the national executive, please forget, as long as I'm the minister, forget in the salary increment. Yeah. So, first of all is management of the increase of the numbers. You had Professor Njuguna Ndungu, my colleague, during the budget speech, say for 1 year we are going to freeze recruitment. I've seen a lot of people trying to test that resolve, and as a matter of fact, I am going to send another letter today to the Public Service Commission to say, even what was in process, even what you say, oh, we were doing interview, we were doing this, we were doing that, even that stands frozen until we form a tripartite team between my ministry, Public Service Commission, and the National Treasury to agree whether is this really necessary or not necessary. So what that will do, and I hope tomorrow we can, the three parties are going to address a press conference tomorrow. I hope that from there it is clear that going forward, we manage our numbers by attrition. So it is possible. One, as the economy grows, if the GDP grows, and two, by ensuring that we do not increase the numbers unnecessarily. We really have to stop this thing of people thinking that the only jobs that can be created in the public sector. I've been saying this, 1 million hours, 1 million of us have been spending, 1.1 trillion. Around 54% of all the tax collections is us consuming. 1 million people only. 53 million people are left to scramble for the rest. It's not the first time, Leto. I've been saying it since 2018. I've been saying it in the Budget Committee in the National Assembly. That is not even an economic question. It's a moral question. It's a medical question. That has got nothing to do with the situation currently prevailing. I think my record is there. I've been saying it. Luckily, I am in a position to implement that, and I'll implement it to the letter as per the mandate given to me by the president. I don't know what is possible with the salary cut, but I don't think anything should be out of the question for now. I don't think, as I said, we will cut down the numbers, freeze the recruitment. Where possible, upon advice from the experts, nothing is out of the question. People must, and there are so many jobs for people to do. The other day, I talked about moving people to contract, so that we can be able to get value for money. I was bashed. I have expected, even for the demonstrations, one of the agendas should have been to support me on the contract issue. Because the biggest problem we have in this country, I will not lie to you, is civil servants. And I'm speaking like this as a Minister in charge of Public Service. travel, mandazis, flowers, unnecessary expenditure, absenteeism, per diems, name it. I will clean up this public service. I will clean it up. Now, I think what Gen Zs have been saying for the last 2 months is actually exemplifying the bigger Gen Z, which is myself, what I've been saying all this time, that we have a problem here. We are the problem. We are the problem. And you know what? If we look not just from the personal emolument, as we call it, we are going to go further and look at this issue of reducing the recurrent expenditure. It can't be at all that we have got a whole almost 2 trillion shillings, over 2 trillion shillings in recurrent expenditure, including personal emoluments, and only 700 billion for development, for my mother's roads, for my mother's water, for all other things. This moment is now. If there's something, I'm very happy with that, for the young people of this nation. It's for assisting me to get a voice onto these things that I have been talking about again and again and again, that we really cannot sustain the current level of current expenditure. It is not sustainable. We really need to relook at everything. And I have already agreed with my counterpart from the National Treasury. We are going to be soon retreating, next week to the Kenya School of Government with all the PSs and all the CSs under the chairmanship of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, and asking ourselves, is this sustainable? Before the president asks us to cut budget, we are going to cut ourselves. And I'm telling you, and I promise the president, from what we are going to achieve next week, we are going to not only meet his expectation in terms of the cuts and the expectation of the Kenyan people, but we are going to exceed it. Because we are the people who know the corners of where all these expenditures are hidden. And we will be exposing each other. Yeah?
So in the long run, how much do you want to save?
Not just, let's say, salary plus expenditures, plus recurrent expenditure from the travel, from the mandate. I believe when we get down to work, my target is 500 billion. 500 extra billion, which we can cut. Which, if we really become honest to ourselves and seize the moment of the nation, we can be able to cut another 500 billion. If I get 300 billion, I'll be happy. But my target is to sit down with everybody, with all the PSs, all the CSs, and try to achieve some 500 billion. And by the way, where will that money go? That money will go to, you saw me in my other ministry, going around, launching industrial parks, which now are not moving, most of them are stalled. We need that money to go and build, industrial parks. Because not all jobs are going to come from white-collar jobs in government. We need, again, we cannot centralize. We cannot centralize jobs. Gone is the era whereby if you wanted jobs in a factory, you go to industrial area. I want every corner of this country, from Migori to Garissa, to Mombasa, all the places you saw me go and launch. Once those things work, the young people of this country are going to get jobs where they are supposed to those jobs are supposed to be. Once we now put some meaning, some actual meaning, and this is another problem I'm having. Let us stop talking. The government is doing a lot of talking. We are doing a lot of talking. It is time now for the rubber to meet the road. These digital jobs, which the president is, I sympathize with him. Sometimes he's lonely. Sometimes he's alone. He's just speaking about it. Because what the Gen Zs are telling us today, the president had seen it a long time ago. When he talk about export of labor, when he talk about digital jobs. So I think, and I'm speaking on behalf of CSs, PSs, and the rest of government, as the Minister for Public Service, it's about time, to really work overnight and ensure we create jobs for these young people. It's a ticking time bomb. It's not disappearing. And what happened last week is just a mirror was placed in front of us. If the mirror tells you that you have a pimple, don't bash the mirror. The pimple is because of some other underlying issues. And that's what we're trying to resolve now.